contact lenses until I was at UCLA, which is when I was 17 or so, 17 or 18, when I finally got contact lenses. So probably from the time I was 9 to 18, so 9 years, I wore glasses.
How did that affect your self-perception? How do you think that affected you?
It's funny because like my parents used to kind of go out of their way to tell me I look sexy in my glasses. I think they wanted, they didn't want me to feel bad about my glasses, and um, I don't know. I mean, I guess it didn't really bother me when I was younger. It I didn't really see a change because I think it was just so soon, It's from second grade. I didn't really know what it was like to be without glasses. So, but I think probably once I hit junior high and high school, I never contemplated getting contact lenses, which is kind of the funny thing. But I definitely think I didn't have a lot of like self-confidence as far as how I looked or anything like that. And I was always really skinny and underdeveloped, so I just I was just never that attractive when I was younger. So,
But that all changed after a certain point after you got your contacts, right?
well, I think I never dated anyone until after I actually graduated from college. Like I did have like a homecoming dance date with one of our friends, like one of our very old friends, when I was in the 10th grade. But apart from that, I never really had any dates. So I think I think I actually started gaining confidence in my looks probably when I started working as an accountant and when I first met Paul. And he was probably the first guy that I met who I actually had a crush on and who had a crush on me back. Because I used to have a lot of crushes on guys, but they never liked me back. Paul was probably the first one where it was mutual.
So Paul's your first boyfriend?
um, Not really, because he had a girlfriend at the time. He wasn't my first boyfriend. Um, he had a girlfriend at the time, so I started dating these other guys. Like a lot of my friends would fix me up with all these other guys, and my first boyfriend was a man named Matt Thompson, and he lasted probably about 6 months. It lasted probably longer than it should have, and then but all that time, I guess stayed friends with Paul, and I actually wanted to date him instead. So he was kind of my first, probably the first person I've really cared about, and he was also the guy I kissed the very first time. So
Your first kiss.
mm.
But Mama and Papa kind of discouraged dating anyways.
Yeah, it probably wasn't even necessary in my case because I wasn't finding any dates when I was in high school. So, but yeah, I think they probably did discourage it. And it was probably more. It's funny because our sister Natha, she dated a lot, but she was also like very in tune with becoming attractive and wearing makeup and dressing really well. So she dated, and I think my sister Sue probably didn't really date very much, and my sister Norn I don't think dated very much in high school at all. So, so yeah, I don't know if it was like because we were just good kids and we were just not into that, or I don't know if it was because we were. I mean, my sister Norn was always very cute. My sister Sue probably went through an awkward stage like I did. so, so yeah. I mean, it's not like we were bringing dates home and my parents were discouraging it. It's like we weren't bringing anybody home, so.
So, I'm gonna ask a few questions that if you feel uncomfortable talking about, it's okay. Just tell me.
Okay, I will.
Tell me about your heart defect.
Oh, that's not that bad. I was born with a VSD, which is called which stands for ventricular septal defect, and I think in common terms it's called a murmur. And basically, there's a little hole between my I believe my two lower ventricles. And a lot of babies get born with this, actually. I know a lot of people who have a heart murmur. And that probably that and my general health affected my childhood more than anything else. I was always very sickly when I was little. I'd probably get sick maybe 3 times each school year, and because of my asthma, I would be out of school for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. So, as far as like the normal things kids do, like playing sports and playing on the playground, I did all that, but then after a certain point, you know, my parents would discourage it because they would always tell me, you're not really like everybody else. You're like a um, you're you're not as strong as everybody else, so you just have to watch it. So, and now actually my one of the cardiologists I've seen, he recommended surgery, but I'm afraid to have a surgery because it's so drastic. It involves, breaking open my rib cage and having them sew up the hole. And I think it's a fairly routine operation, but there's always risks. So, and I'm not really keen on having it done.
How does Paul feel about
Um, it's funny because I think Paul, he's just not used to illness. I mean, his family was always pretty healthy. So when he encounters, like, when I have a cold or when I don't feel well, he doesn't really think about it. Like, he just says, just get through it, you know, take your vitamin C and try to get better. And I think with the operation, he never really had an opinion one way or the other. I think another thing is he just kind of respects my independence and he knows I'm just going to make my own decisions without him influencing me one way or the other. So, and I already told him that I didn't want to have the surgery done. So I think after that, it's funny because I remember I had a very good friend in law school and I was telling him about this and he said that I really should have the surgery done because he was he was kind of the opinion that um, you should be proactive about something like that, and that he had a lot of faith in doctors, so he would say, you don't have to worry about the risks because it's a very routine procedure, and you should really have it done to be as healthy as you can. So I don't know. I don't know what I would do if he was one way or the other. Because sometimes when he has his own opinions about things, I like go out of my way to do the opposite. So I don't know what I would do about that.
it? Do you feel that Mom and Papa were overprotective?
Yes, my parents were very overprotective. They they didn't allow us to have bicycles because they thought we would fall down and break our bones, which my older brother and sister had bicycles and skateboards. Skateboards are like the most dangerous thing, and they had those. And my sister and my brother used to break their bones sometimes. And I think my parents, they just got tired of dealing with stuff like that, so they just said no to us. And I remember them taking us swimming, and they would be freaked out because our lips would turn blue, but and then they wouldn't let us walk to school with our friends because they thought we were going to get kidnapped. I think that was their biggest fear, is that we were going to get kidnapped. Because they used to like watch the evening news every night and there'd always be stories like that. And I mean, we lived in a pretty safe suburb, but I remember there was a girl who actually got kidnapped in our school. And because I remember the principal calling me into his office and asking me, because he knew that I usually waited outside in that same area to wait for my parents. And